Director of the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban, Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi, Dr. Guru Prakash Paswanji, Mr. Sudarshan Ramabhadranji, Dr. Namita Kumari ji, Mr. CPVM Chunu, Mr. Piyush Khandelwal, distinguished guests and online viewers. Namaskar and welcome to an online interaction on the celebrations of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Jayanti. Today the topic will be Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, a man with fire and light, to celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti. Just a little bit about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is known as Bhim Rao Ramji Ambedkar, born on the 14th of April 1891, also known as Baba Saheb Ambedkar, was an Indian jurist, economist, politician, and social reformer who inspired the Dalit Buddhist movements and campaigned against social discrimination towards the untouchables, the Dalits. He was a British India's Ministers Labour in the Viceroy's Executive Council, a member of the Constitute Drafting Committee, Independent India's first Minister of Law and Justice, and considered the chief architect of the Constitution of India. Indeed, today we welcome our two guest speakers and our interviewer, and those are Dr. Guru Prakash Paswan, the author and scholar, Mr. Sudarshan Ramabhadranji, who is also an author and scholar, who will be interviewed today by Dr. Namita Kumari ji, an assistant professor at the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee College, University of Delhi. Just a brief background on Dr. Guru Prakash Paswanji. Guru sir is one of the spokespersons for the BJP. He is the alumnus of the National New Institute University, Bhopal. He has completed the influential visitor leadership program organized by the US Department of State. Sudarshan sir is an Indian writer, researcher, and columnist. He has 8.5 years of work experience in the field of communications, research, and journalism. He is an alumnus of the Vivekananda College, University of Madras, the Asian College of Journalism, Chennai. He has worked in various capacities such as Deputy Director and Senior Research Fellow at the India Foundation and headed its Center for Public Diplomacy and Soft Power in Chennai. He has previously worked in the New Indian Express in Chennai and the Department of Information, Government of Gujarat. He has authored the book Good Governance, People's Voice, published by the Government of Gujarat in December 2013. He has authored the book Makers of the Modern Dalit History, published by Penguin Random House India in April 2021 with Dr. Guru Prakash Paswan, and has completed the Professional Fellows Program in 2017, a premier fellowship program organized and run by the US State Department. Dr. Namita Kumari is presently teaching in the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee College, University of Delhi. She is a fellow in the DCRC, University of Delhi. She has obtained her MA in Political Science from the University of Delhi and MPhil in International Studies from JNU New Delhi. She's pursued her PhD in Local Development and Global Dynamics from the University of Trento, Italy. She was awarded the doctoral fellowship by the University of Trento to pursue her PhD degree. We welcome today Dr. Guru Prakash Paswanji and Mr. Sudarshan Ramabhadranji, who is going to be interviewed by Dr. Namita Kumari.
Thank you very much, Srishti. Namaskar, everyone. Today we are here to talk about the genius who gave us Constitution and who had fought with several obstacles, the man who used his wisdom as his weapon and made the entire society to bow in front of his strong determination. Yes, we are talking about Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar. If we analyze the entire journey of Baba Saheb, the Mahat Satyagraha of 1927 can be seen as one of the most defining movement in his political thought and action. From there, we can say that his endless journey had started. To get a broader and in-depth understanding on the Baba Saheb's approach, we are fortunate to have two eminent guests with us, Dr. Guru Prakash Paswan ji and Mr. Sudarshan Rambhadran ji. I would like to welcome you here for an interactive session on Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, a man with fire and light. Please accept our greetings. So, Guru Prakash ji, I would like to begin with you. Since you have studied Baba Saheb's work deeply, how do you understand the personality of Baba Saheb as a great social reformer and leader?
Namaskar to everyone, and especially the Cultural Center at Durban. Both of us are extremely grateful to be amidst all of you, although in these times, these are difficult times globally, and all of us are struggling with our own issues in terms of health. But as we are aware that today all of us have gathered here to remember the great soul, the chief architect of the Constitution of India. And before I respond to the question raised by Dr. Namita Kumari, who is a fellow academic, I think we do a great amount of disservice when we actually try and restrict Baba Saheb Ambedkar exclusively as a leader of subaltern community, as a leader of the disadvantaged community, or even only as the chairperson of the drafting committee of the Constitution of India. Baba Saheb, like all of us, had a layered personality. And we have to admit, all of us who are sitting here, we are academics, we are thinkers, and we definitely do some research and articulate our opinion from time to time. So the personality of Baba Saheb, I'm of the opinion that the academics, the intellectuals, the writers of history, they did not do appropriate justice with the soul of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. When we try to restrict the great man exclusively as a leader of a specific social group, this is a great amount of disadvantage. So today, with this conversation, can we ignite, can we encourage young researchers, young scholars to study the different aspect of the personality of Baba Saheb Ambedkar? For instance, as an economist, what a phenomenal work did Baba Saheb undertake in the University of Columbia. So going abroad for education, even today, it's a very big deal. It is a very difficult proposition for youngsters like us. Baba Saheb, who came from a special social mooring, you can only imagine that the man was clearly ahead of his times. He was a visionary man. So he goes to Columbia and studies under the then noted economist Professor John Dewey and develops a thesis in terms of financial federalism, on exchange rates, and so on and so forth. His contribution in anthropology, his contribution in sociology, his contribution in religion, faith, logic, rationality. So the list goes on and on. So this anniversary, as a scholar, as a researcher, as a thinker, all of us, can we try and initiate some academic efforts to decode the different layers of personality of Baba Saheb Ambedkar? Because as we are all aware, Baba Saheb in his adulthood, Baba Saheb as a young boy became a victim of those practices which in the name of century-old traditions were promoting social ostracization. Regardless of that, the man fights with it. The man struggles with it. The man is constantly having a conversation and a churning between that. And then he emerges. So definitely, I think Namita ji, as young researchers and young scholars, let us endeavor to have a study, to have a project which examines and evaluate the different aspects, the different dimensions of the personality of Baba Saheb Ambedkar, this Ambedkar Jayanti.
Very rightly said. Yeah, actually, as we know, that Baba Saheb was the first lawyer from backward class and also the world's first and only satyagrahi who did satyagraha for drinking water, which is also a very unique thing. So I would like to ask my next question to Sudarshan ji. How do you find Dr. Ambedkar's life in which he was always carrying a fire as a strength to burn the futilities and redundancies of human society?
First of all, Vanakkam to all of you in Durban. Our gratitude to the dynamic Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center, the Consulate General of Durban for putting this virtual gathering as a tribute to Bharat Ratna Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. One of the most fascinating aspects of his persona was that he was an original thinker. Having seen through some of the worst adversities, he carved a niche and built his own unique identity. He was an original thinker. As a result, he carried that fire that you referred, Dr. Namita, in whatever he did. He was against any form of caste-based discrimination. He was against the caste system as a structure. And he always rooted for Dalit-led empowerment in the form of representation. And all this he did without any violence, without using any punitive measures, simply by asking both the community and the rest of Indians to get educated about the cause that he was striving for. Both Guru Prakash ji and me have been researching on a very important project which we have just completed, and we are glad to announce as the first international platform that this project will be released as a book which is titled Makers of Modern Dalit History on April 14th in India and later on abroad as well. In this book, Dr. Ambedkar features, and during the course of research, we found out some astounding definitions that Dr. Ambedkar gave. For example, he believed in revolution, which was violence agnostic. He always sought citizens to measure a revolution in a philosophy as to how many times a philosophy has undergone revolution. Measure it by that. This, he said, to keep in time with changing circumstances. And one of the other fascinating definitions that we came across was how he defined democracy. He said, any political, socio-economic change that takes place without bloodshed, and this comes back to our previous point as well, that how he foresaw, as you referred, that how he kept that fire burning to shun away the brutalities that he faced, the community members faced, and this was how he kept that fire burning.
Very rightly pointed out. In fact, I was reading somewhere, it was a survey, and according to that survey, it was a global survey. The makers of the universe, a list of top 100 humanist people of the last 10,000 years was made by this Oxford University, and in which the fourth name was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So it's really, his personality was really something memorable. Guru Prakash ji, would you think that this was not only a fire to burn the redundancies, but it was also a light to show the path to the new generation and the futuristic society?
Undoubtedly, and we must also understand that Baba Saheb's life, Baba Saheb's journey is a lesson in itself. Like I said in my previous remarks as well, that he was a man clearly ahead of his times. in one of the conferences, one of the railway workers' conferences in Manmad, Maharashtra, he said that for the youngsters of the country, religion is very important. The essence of spiritualism is extremely important because religion and spiritualism gives you character and mental strength. So what we see unfortunately today that some of the intellectuals who, for the purpose of pursuing their ideology of disintegration, they manipulate the ideas of Baba Saheb Ambedkar, or they show only one part of Baba Saheb Ambedkar, in one context of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. So that is something which is obviously not correct. Like Sudarshan ji said, as one of the nominated members in 1940 in the Viceroy Council, Baba Saheb advocated. He was constantly advocating for welfare measures and empowerment of those who were left behind, and did not have had access to education, access to power, access to skills. So Baba Saheb 100% spoke about them, voiced their concerns and their aspirations. He had a roadmap in his mind. He had a vision. He had a strategy. And today as well, as someone from the community, as someone who has benefited from the affirmative action policies imagined by Baba Saheb Ambedkar, I consider myself a proud beneficiary of Baba Saheb's thought even today after 7 decades of independence. So he is very much between us. His ideas are very much between us. His thoughts, his ideas of revolution, his ideas of integration are very much between us. And he's constantly inspiring all of us from wherever he is. But the point which you have made about the future strategy, you see, Baba Saheb Ambedkar obviously advocated about reservation, through affirmative action policies. Baba Saheb wanted adequate representation of socially marginalized communities. He has throughout in his life has advocated that any institution, let's say any public institution, any critical decision-making position, you say academics, universities, bureaucracy, media, how do we advocate and ensure adequate social diversity, that people from across the community are represented at this critical decision-making position? These are some of the thoughts which obviously inspire us, and a lot of distance has been covered, a lot remains to be covered. So Baba Saheb's ideas would definitely be a guiding light, would be a searchlight in sort of imagining the new Dalit agenda or the new Dalit narratives of having an inclusive and integrative model of development and growth.
In fact, I think he always had a holistic approach about development. It can be clearly seen when he proposed the Hindu Code Bill in the parliament. The bill was meant to give equal rights to women in matters of marriage and inheritances. However, bill could not get passed. So Sudarshan ji, would you like to enlighten our viewers about the vision of Dr. Ambedkar for the human society and its values at large?
It is very difficult to put in a few words because he was multifaceted. His vision was manifold, like Guru Prakash ji said, not just one aspect. He was so, not just widely read, but he was well read. And I'll give you a trivia. And this too we came across in our research, that he had a collection of 35,000 books as part of his personal library. Now, I cannot think of an individual who's going to, no offense meant to anybody, but who's going to have that many number of books. And that is an inspiration to be well read. And he always encouraged people to devote 10% of their income on buying books. This shows how much he wanted people to read about issues, and thereby gain that clarity. You cannot simply be not read about the issues that confronts India as a civilizational state. You have to be read, and therefore it is prudent, going back to Guru Prakash's first point, that he was a multifaceted individual. Now, coming to his vision was that India must attain social democracy. Friends, we are going to celebrate in India 75 years of our independence in 2022. We must put our minds together to come together and say, how are we going to attain this? And how did Baba Sahib envision social democracy? It was nothing but in everyday living, ensuring liberty, equality, fraternity, and if we may add today, justice as well. This was his vision. And if we, as an active citizenry of this country, as those who are observing India from abroad, if we can ensure this and enable this, that will be the biggest tribute to the man, to the vision, and to his legacy as well. You pointed out a survey, a global survey, where he came third or fourth. Let me tell you, in 2012, there was a survey done by History Channel, which is another renowned international channel. News 18, which was CNN, IBN then. Baba Sahib came number 1. He was the greatest Indian voted for. He surpassed Mahatma Gandhi, Patel, and Nehru. And you will be surprised and amazed to know that how his impact continues amongst the youth of this country, that they voted for the greatest Indian ever. One final point, the center is named after Swami Vivekananda. He called Swami Vivekananda one of the greatest minds India has ever produced.
In fact, Baba Sahib described himself as progressive radical and occasionally as a progressive conservative. He was sensitive to the notion of respect, and the notion of community was central in his consideration. He laid emphasis on religious, gender, and caste equality. So, Guru Prakash ji, would you like to speak about the understanding of Dr. Ambedkar about the prosperity and progress of any nation or society?
Like you pointed out, one specific moment which we often discount or not account for, this is the movement for temple entry. And that temple entry movement is something which we not talk about, which is not mentioned in the studies of Baba Sahib Ambedkar. So that is one aspect we must study, that the fact that he realizes, and you also mentioned dignity, you also mentioned an amount of self-respect, which is obviously, there is a good Hindi term called Swabhiman. And I think no matter in, you can say it's self-respect, dignity, but Swabhiman is something which is very important. Swabhiman is not Ahankar. Swabhiman is, Ahankar is negative, arrogance is negative, but Swabhiman, self-respect, this is a positive word. So Baba Sahib throughout his lifetime strove for that. Because you can only imagine, and it is difficult for any of us to imagine, the sort of marginalization which a particular section of population faced for God knows how many years. And it has an impact on your psyche as well. So there are many universities, obviously in India and abroad, who are focusing on studying this Dalit psyche. And one of the greatest tribute to Baba Sahib Ambedkar would be to have a constructive and a positive conversation around these issues. The problem is that over the course of the last 7 decades, this conversation around caste has taken a negative turn unnecessarily. And that is something which is unacceptable. We need some positive conversation. We need some conversation about atrocities which are still happening. A person A Dalit boy, young boy, he wears a wristwatch, his hands are slit. A Dalit boy who is about to get married, he has to travel on the horse wearing a helmet so that when stones are hurled on him, he remains unhurt. So the problems still exist. And one of the greatest tributes to Baba Sahib Ambedkar could be to acknowledge them and have a productive, solution-oriented conversation like we are having here. We need more and more academic study. We need more and more sort of analysis towards his personality. But this quest for dignity, Swabhiman ka Andolan, this is very quintessential and central to the imagination of the ideas of Baba Sahib. You see, whatever literature, his speeches are a great source of knowledge and wisdom for youngsters across. I mean, you see, Baba Sahib was greatly influenced by Jyotiba Phule. And only yesterday, 11th of April, the country celebrated Jyotiba Phule anniversary as well. So Baba Sahib has written in his work that the book which was written was authored by Jyotiba Phule, an exceptional social reformer and educationist, and his thrust on education and how education could be a vehicle for self-respect and dignity. And obviously supplementing that with this vision of inclusive democracy. So this quest for dignity, like you pointed out, Namita ji, it remains a central part of the Dalit imagination even now. But obviously, like I said, and I keep saying, a lot of distance has been covered, but a lot of distance remains to be covered.
Of course. No doubt today, as an Indian, we are proud of our constitution and proud of our democracy, for which the credit can be attributed to Baba Sahib. Sudarshan ji, could you please enlighten us about the relevance and importance of Dr. Ambedkar's vision in the present world?
I think it's a very important question. In and through his work and in and through his speeches, Baba Sahib always advocated for thinking national plus international. You can act locally, but think global as well. And some of his writings elucidate this. His speeches in the Constituent Assembly elucidate this. So that's a very, very important contemporary lesson that we can learn. Second, he emphasized on educate, educate, educate. Education is the potent weapon that he felt would empower the marginalized, would transform the socially disadvantaged into socially advantaged. And this is how he believed, as a result, they could attain representation as well. So that these are some of the lessons that he learned and he gave to the world in and through his works. And like I said, finally, he always advocated for being well-read and not just widely read. He was a multidisciplinary man, not just part of the drafting committee of the Constitution in which he headed it, but he was an expert in foreign policy, in which he gave stern warnings on China's threat. He was a public policy expert, and there was a multifaceted personality to him. As youngsters, as researchers, we can take these lessons from him and contemporize it as we look ahead to 75 years of independence, as well as 100 years of independence in 2040.
Yeah. Just to add in here, we must try to put a realistic and nationalistic view of the principle and thoughts of Baba Sahib to the masses. We also must endeavor to carry forward Ambedkarism to the generation next by adopting ways and means of the same. It was great talking to you, Guru Prakash ji and Sudarshan ji, and knowing your opinion on Baba Sahib. Thank you, and thanks to all the organizers to this interaction. धन्यवाद.
Thank you so
बहुत
much.
बहुत धन्यवाद.
Thank you so much, Dr. Guru Prakash Paswan, Mr. Sudarshan Ramabhadran, and Dr. Namita Kumari for that interview. With that, we'd like to say thank you to our very dynamic guest speakers and interviewer for today's program on the occasion of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Jayanti. I would like to now invite Mr. Sipiwayam Chunu from the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban to render this evening's vote of thanks.
Namaskar. Greetings to all of you. On behalf of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban, I am so delighted today to deliver a vote of thanks on today's programs, which was dealing with the life and times of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, a man with fire and light. Allow me to thank the following online guests who took part on today's program. It's Dr. Guru Prakash Paswanji, an author and a scholar, Mr. Sudarshan Ramabandraji, author and a scholar, and lastly, Dr. Namita Kumariji, Assistant Professor, Shyam Prasad Mukherjee College, University of Delhi in India. To all of them, I'm saying Dhanyavad, because we were talking about the man that we know, Baba Saheb Ambedkar. He was a great man. He believed in upliftment. So we really appreciate his life and times in this world. To all of you, Paswanji, Ramabrandriji, Kumariji, Dhanyavad for this discussion. The interview was conducted by Dr. Namita Kumariji. Dhanyavad, thank you very much. To Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi, Director of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center, Sristi Harinarayan, Sri Piyush Kandelwal, thank you very much for making sure that today's program runs very smooth. Thank you once again to all of you. To those who participated online this evening, we'd like to say thank you for taking part on today's program. You are kindly advised to visit our Facebook page so that you'll be you're kindly advised to visit our Facebook page so that you'll be updated about all cultural activities organized by Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center in Durban. To all of you who are such a wonderful people, once again, Paswanji, Ramabandriji, and Kumariji, Dhanyavad. To all of you, have a wonderful evening. Namaskar.